Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet Designs. My name is Mary, coming to you with our 11th step of our 12-step transition blanket. She needs calming down today, guys, because this is our second last step to the blanket. She really needs calming down, guys. But you know, the next step will be finalising our blanket, putting border rounds on. And I say rounds because I'm going to give you the option to do your rounds and say, right, repeat this round or the 2 rounds for another 50 million rounds for as long as you want your blanket to be or as wide as you want it to be. And then join us back for the final 2 rounds of border. Very exciting. Or is it 3 rounds? Doesn't matter. We're not up to that. We're up to today's step, which is the 11th step. And first, let me show you what I have got up to, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen with it real quickly. Ta-da! We worked in shells for this one. Very exciting. Now, I mentioned in the tutorial that we actually don't work with shells very much on the channel. And to be fair, I don't know if we have worked with shells. I think we did a border round on shells for our what was it? Our temperature blanket. Oh, there it is up on the screen there now. Gorgeous. If you haven't tried our temperature blanket, that was also an annual project as well. So if you haven't tried that blanket, you can make that one as well as this one here. And if you haven't started this one, you still have plenty of time before we get on to the border rounds, because real quickly to let you know, the border rounds will be on the 4th of December. It's the first Thursday of the month. All right, of December. So that's when our border rounds will be on. Get excited, because that's when your blanket will be complete. Well, my blanket will be complete. You will be completing yours on that day. This is our 11th step, gorgeous, using the gorgeous shells. And what I want you to do after this tutorial is don't cut your thread. Oh, and I've lost a stitch marker. Oh, here it is. Hello. Why did I take it out in the first place is beyond me. Put the stitch marker in, Mary. Guys, put your stitch marker in your little loop so you don't lose your thread when you walk away like I was about to. Don't cut your thread after this row, because we will be doing another 3 more rows when we return for our final part of the blanket. Really, it's very exciting. These 3 rows are different to what you see here totally. All right, so really you need to hang on to your thread and then join us for the next 3 rows. And if you want to finish your blanket now, weaving your ends and not do border rounds, you'll still need to wait around for those last 3 rounds. Or you could do 6 repeats of this, cast off, weaving your ends, and you're done, if you don't want to wait for border rounds. Yeah, but trust me, you'll love the border rounds. She says that she's not sure. But guys, get excited. We're going to start step 11 right now. I'm not going to hold you up anymore. Make sure you have the same hook you started off with. The very last colour, which was actually the first colour you started with. Now, if you didn't change your yarn, all you need to do is keep going. Yeah, don't worry about cutting. I show you what to do if you don't want to cut your yarn, and just keep going. All right, and that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for joining us again. Get excited, continuing making step 11 of your 12-step transition blanket. Good luck all. All right, guys, where I left you off in step 10, I asked you to repeat the last 2 rows 2 more times. So you should have done 4 rows altogether, and you would have landed on your cluster set section, if that makes any sense, the cluster row. You're going to single crochet at the end of the row like normal, remove that stitch marker, chain 1, turn your work, and single crochet into the stitch that you are in, not the chain 1, of course. Oh, I was about to grab a stitch marker. We're not doing that yet. We're going to chain 1, 2, and 3, and then pop your stitch marker in there. Okay, so you can start to see that first pattern coming back. Yeah, and what you're going to do is chain another 3, 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to move over a bit for you. And then you're going to single crochet in the chain 3 space like we've been doing all along. So you're repeating that first row again. So 1, 2, and 3, skip over everything, single crochet in your chain 3 space. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, skip over everything, single crochet in your chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. I'm rushing this because you know this row has not changed. All right. So your job now, and I can't turn the blanket around, I'm just going to flip it like that. Your job now is to single crochet, chain 3 and single crochet, chain 3, single crochet all the way across, just one single. Let's try that again. You've single crocheted here, chain 3, single in the chain 3 space, chain 3, single in the chain 3 space, chain 3, single in the chain 3 space, all the way across. Get to the second last chain 3 space. Meet me there once you're done and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this row, and this is where the pattern changes. Alright, so what you're going to do is, like normal, place a single crochet in that. I have a feeling I may have split the stitch, but let's try it. Oh no, here we go. It's just a tight stitch. So single crochet in that stitch, chain 1, and you're going to do your stacked single crochet here, or you're going to chain 3, whichever suits you. So I'm going to do my stacked single crochet like normal. 1, and then that's the side loop. 2, and then place your stitch marker in there, like so. All right, and in this space, you're going to place 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. And that set is classified as your 4 double crochets. So what you're going to do is skip that single crochet, jump into the next space with 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the pattern. Skip the single, jump into the space with 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip 1, 4 into the next. I'm thinking you're getting the picture here, because that's pretty much the pattern all the way across. Skip your single crochet, 4 double crochets in your chain 3 space, and it should look like that. All right, so skip 1, 4 double crochets in the space, skip 1, 4 in the space, skip 4, all the way across. Get to your very last space right there. Meet me there once you're done, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, once again you would have completed your sets all the way across, and right now if you were to count your work, you will have 124. I have to think about it now because I've got it. Yes, 124 stitches. But if you were to place your last 4 double crochets in this space, 2, 3, and 4. That would make it 128. And on your 129th, you're going to place into the stitch with your stitch marker. Hopefully it's not split. Yeah, I think mine's split. Oh, no, it's not. It's split. Come on, Mary, get it right. So place your double crochet in that very last stitch. You should have 129 stitches. Check that you have, because if you don't, the next row is not going to work, or the next pattern isn't going to work. I'm sorry, we were supposed to change colours there. If you're not changing colours, just chain 1 and turn and wait for me there. But for the rest of us, complete your double halfway through, drop your yellow or your lemon and grab your cream. We are working on the cream. So just pull that loop through like so. Just want to hold this at the back, both of them. Chain 1, turn your work, stacked single crochet or standing double, or your chain 3 in the first stitch. So 1 and 2. Place a stitch marker there, like so. And guess what? You know these next 2 rows. The next 2 rows are double crochet into every stitch. All right, very basic. This happens in every tutorial. When we change our colors, we do 2 rows of double crochet. Remember, at the end of your second row of double crochet, you should have 129 stitches across. All right, so your job now, oh, the sun is all over the place today. So your job now is to do double crochets in every stitch all the way across. Get to the end, chain 1, turn, stacked single crochet, and then double crochets all the way across right here. Get to the very last stitch right there, or the second last stitch. Meet me there once you're done, and then we'll talk about our very next pattern. Oh, by the way, before you do anything, just grab your scissors and cut your lemon. You will not need that anymore. All right, so do the next 2 rows of double crochets. Meet me back here once you're done, and we'll get on with the very next pattern. Alrighty guys, so I asked you to do your 2 rows of double crochet. It should look like that, yeah. And to get to your very last stitch right here, and place your very last double crochet in there like so. Alright, now we're going to start our pattern. Now this pattern is a 2-row repeat, and we're using shells. We don't use shells very much on the channel, I've noticed. So we're going to use shells as our final pattern. So first thing you're going to do is chain 1 and turn. So turn your work. It's too big now, guys. Give me a moment. And single crochet in our very first stitch like so. Place your stitch marker right there. Gorgeous. And now what we're going to do, before we start our shell, for this shell pattern to work, we're going to need to add 1 more single into the next stitch right there. So single in the first and single in your second. And then we start our shell. So yarn over your hook, you skip 1, 2, and you pop a shell into your third stitch there. So you're skipping 1 V, 2 Vs, and pop your shell into that third stitch, and the shell will consist of 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now you're going to skip 1 and 2 and pop a single crochet into your third. So you're skipping 1 V, 2 Vs, single crochet into your third V. A normal single crochet like that. So you formed your 1 shell, yeah? And now we're going to go back into forming another shell. So yarn over your hook, skip 1 and 2, jump into your third with a shell of 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 1, 2, and single into your next. All right, so that is pretty much the pattern all the way across. You are now going to skip 2, make a shell of 5 double crochets in your third one. Skip 2, make a single crochet. Skip 2, shell. Skip 2, single crochet. You're going to do that all the way across until you get to your last 1 or 2 stitches. All right, don't stress too much, just get to as close to the end of the row as you can get. Meet me there once you're done, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, how beautiful is this shell stitch? I love the shell stitch. I'm surprised we don't use it a lot on the channel. I really do love it. But anyway, moving right along, she talks too much, guys. You would have gotten to your shell stitch, and then you would have skipped 1, 2, and you would have ended up in your second last stitch with a single crochet. That is not wrong. Normally it would be wrong, but it's not for our pattern, all right? Because otherwise we would have had to have taken 2 stitches off and worked with 127 stitches. And I think it would have made it too small to work with. So all we're going to do is place another single crochet in that next stitch. So we're just moving some work over, and you don't have to worry about it because I'll do that for you. Now we are going to do our second row repeat. So chain 1, turn your work, and make a stacked single crochet, or you could make your chain 3 instead. So stacked single crochet right there, like so. Place your stitch marker in there. Gorgeous. Now you're going straight into the very next single crochet right here with a double crochet. Now it might be fairly tight for you, it's tight for me. We're going to place 1 double crochet and then another 2. So you're going to put 3 double crochets all in that single crochet right there. Yeah, looks a bit full now, don't worry, it'll sort itself out in a minute. Then you're going to skip 1, 2, and in your third double crochet you're placing a single crochet. So 1, 2 and 2, and into the third with a single crochet. That's a little tight for me. Yeah. And then what you're going to do is skip 1 and 2 and go into your single crochet with a shell of 5 double crochets. So do your 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. So you are skipping 1 and 2, jumping into your third stitch with a single crochet. So you're doing exactly the same as you did in the previous round, but on the opposite stitches. Okay, so you're going to start your shell by skipping 1, 2, and in that single crochet right there, you're doing your shell of 5 double crochets. Try not to leave that loop too loose like I just did. Yeah. Skip 1 and 2 and a shell into your single crochet of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 1 and 2, single crochet into your third. All right, so that's pretty much the pattern. If you were to turn it around, you would start to see a little pattern. You probably can't see it for another couple of rows, but anyway, so that's your pattern. You're going to do simply that. This pattern would look great if you were changing colours, by the way, but anyway, so all you're going to do is skip 1 and 2, make a cluster of 5 double crochets or your shell in the single crochet, skip 1 and 2, and on your third make a single crochet, skip 1 and 2, and on your single crochet make a shell. You're going to do that all the way across, get to your very last single crochet up on top of this shell. Wait for me there and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so I asked you to get to the end of this row and I said do your last single crochet on your shell set from the previous row, okay, and a reason is because we're going to skip our 1, 2, jump into the third with 3 double crochets. So skip 1, 2 and into that third right there with 3 double crochets, keeping it in sync with the beginning of your work. Okay, so 3 double crochets, and then in the last stitch you're placing a double crochet. Now that was the end of your first row repeat. Okay, I'm not sure if I said second or first before, but I meant first, sorry guys. So that's the end of your first row repeat. Yep. What I want you to do is chain 1, turn your work. Again, it's blanket is so big now, guys, so it's difficult for me to turn. Bear with me. And all right, so we're getting there, guys. We're almost there. Yeah. You're going to do a single crochet in that first stitch like so. Pop your stitch marker in there. There, gorgeous. And then you do a single crochet in your very next stitch, like so. All right, so initially you're doing 2 single crochets at the beginning of this row and 2 at the end. All right, but for now what you're going to do is yarn over your hook. You're going to skip 1 and 2 and into the single crochet from the previous row. You're making your shell of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, and then skip 1 and 2 and single crochet in the top of your shell. Yarn over your hook, skip 1 and 2, and I can get into that single crochet very tight for me. Pop your shell of 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so all you're doing is skipping 1 and 2, single crocheting in the top of your third double crochet from the previous row, skip 1 and 2 and your shell stitch of 5 double crochets in your single crochet from your previous row. Super duper easy. 3, 4, and 5, and I don't think I need to show you any more because it's pretty much the same as the last row except the beginning and the end. So you are skipping 2, single crocheting on your third double crochet from the previous row, skip 2, shell stitch in the single crochet from the previous row. So very basic. You can just repeat that row if you think about it. It's not the exact repeat. Yeah, so this is our second repeat row, by the way, and you are going to continue that pattern all the way across, get to your very last single crochet right here. Ignore your 3 double crochets and your last stitch. Just get to the last single crochet, complete your shell. Meet me there once you're done and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of our final repeat row. Get excited guys. And I asked you to do your last cluster on your single crochet here. And what you're going to do is skip 1 and 2, pop a single crochet into your second last stitch, or your third if you want to call it that, 1, 2 and into your third. So you do your single crochet there, single crochet into the stitch with your stitch marker, which I've split. Don't you love that? Single crochet into the stitch with your stitch marker, like so. Chain 1, and what we're going to do is pop our little stitch marker in this loop so I can give you some instructions. All right, and what I would like for you to do simply is this. Very simple. The last 2 rows that we did, I don't know why I went out there. Those last 2 rows that you did, you're going to repeat that 2 more times. So you're going to repeat it for another 4 rows. All right, so 1 and 2 once, 1 and 2 twice. So altogether you need to do 4 more rows. All right, so that is pretty simple instructions for this pattern. Ta-da! It's just a 2-row repeat. Very exciting. 2-row repeat. The last 2 rows that you just did, you need to do that for another 4 more rows altogether, or if you want to call it 2 sets of your 2 rows. So altogether you need 4 rows. That's pretty much it. Don't cut your thread because next month we will be adding the next 3 rows and then border rounds. Get excited, get excited. Now, once again, as I mentioned in the beginning of the tutorial, if you wanted to weave in your ends and not do border rounds and finish up here, then you can do 6 rows of your pattern, all right? But for everyone else, we're doing just 4 rows because we are doing a final close-up section so that we can do our border rows. Actually, they're rounds because it's going to be working in the round after. The reason we're doing those extra rows is to straighten up these shells that you see right here, straightening them up, and that way we can actually do our border rounds easily, like straight, if you will. All right, but all you need to remember, guys, is to do the last 2 rounds you did for 2 more sets, which is 4 rows. Meet me back here on the 4th of December to do our border rounds. Very, very exciting. Wow. So exciting. Thank you very much for joining me today in creating step 11 of our 12-step transition blanket. Join me again on the 4th of December, which is a Thursday, first Thursday of the month, and we will complete our blanket. Yay! Very exciting. My name is Mary. This is Crochet Designs, and ciao for now.